Hi everybody, and as usual, you're very welcome to our Los Angeles English School YouTube channel. My name is Helen. If you don't know me, I'm head teacher here at Los Angeles English School, and today we're going to talk about general IELTS writing task number 1. If you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. Of course, if you'd like to get notified of all our upcoming lessons. So we have here IELTS preparation, TOEFL preparation, and general English of different levels. So today, as I said, we're going to be talking about general IELTS preparation writing task number 1, and if you don't know, it's where you have to write down a letter. And today we're going to take a look at how to write letters. We'll take a look at different types of letters because there might be 3 different types of letters, which are formal, informal, and also semi-formal. Today we're going to take a closer look, and I will give you the steps, how you need to write down a letter, what you have to remember, and all necessary things. So let's take a look at the presentation that I've prepared for you guys. All right, so let's take a look at first at what the task says. So you should write at least 170 words for this task. So in your letter, the formal requirement of the task is to write down minimum 150 words, but it's highly recommended that you write down not less than 170 words, just to make sure that you have enough words in your letter. So it's highly recommended that you don't take more than 20 minutes for this task. Again, a reminder, you will have 1 hour for your writing section. 20 minutes it's highly recommended to spend on writing your letter, and then 40 minutes to spend on writing your essay. Of course, it's up to you. You can decide how much time you'd like to spend on each task, but because to write a letter, it's much easier, it's highly recommended to spend less time than on writing an essay. So let's take a look at the criteria. And according to these criteria, the examiner or the grader will be evaluating your letter. So the first thing is task achievement. And here I have presented points which are the most important from my point of view, and this is what you have to pay attention to. So if it's a good task achievement, this letter presents a clear purpose. So you present a clear purpose for the letter, so you need to understand why you are writing this letter with the tone consistent and appropriate. tone, or also you can call it the style of your letter, the register. So whether it's formal or it's informal or it's semi-formal, and depending on the type of the letter, you will be using different words. So your words would be more formal for a formal letter. Also, you cannot use contractions if it's a formal letter. Even don't or didn't, make sure that if you are preparing for the IELTS, remember that if it's a formal letter, don't write any contractions at all. So write down full forms of all words. However, if the letter is informal, it's better for you to write down contractions and to show that you realize that this is an informal letter. And if it's an informal letter, it's better to use contractions, and you will have a higher score because you show that you understand the style of the letter. So clearly presents and fully develops all bullet points. In your letter, in your task that you will see during the exam, there will be bullet points. Bullet points, these are guidelines for you that you will get in your task. So what exactly you should write in your letter. For example, there will be a task, for example, complain to the hotel, and in your letter first complain about the things that went wrong. Ask the manager to give you compensation, and explain what you had to do to deal with these problems. So these are bullet points, and you have to look at these bullet points, you have to keep an eye on them, and you have to develop and present all these bullet points. So pay attention to these bullet points. So the next criterion is coherence and cohesion. So here we have logically organizes information and ideas, there is clear progression throughout, uses a range of cohesive devices appropriately. Cohesive devices, these are connecting words such as although, because, however, first, finally, and so on. Uses paragraphing, sufficiently and appropriately. So you also need to write your letter in paragraphs, and we'll take a look at this in a moment. The next is lexical resource. So we have uses a wide range of vocabulary fluently and flexibly to convey precise meanings. Skillfully uses uncommon lexical items. Rare minor errors occur only as slips. Also for lexical resource, specifically for letters, you need to show that you use some stable common expressions which are typical for some specific types of letters. For example, looking forward to hearing from you, kind regards, best wishes, I'm writing to complain about, and so on. So make sure that you have these stable expressions and you know how to use them. And finally, grammatical range and accuracy. Uses a wide range of structures with full flexibility and accuracy. Rare minor errors occur only as slips. Has good control of grammar and punctuation. And also a few words in terms of American English versus British English. So IELTS is, so to say, it's an international exam. That's why you can use either British or American spelling and British or American punctuation rules, because they are different. But you should be consistent throughout the whole letter, and it also refers to writing essays. So if, for example, you choose to write everything in American English, so you need to be consistent. Make sure that all the words that you write have American spelling and the punctuation rules of American English. So if you are writing in the British style, make sure that the whole letter has British spelling in all the words. So, but it's not recommended to write down some words will be with American spelling, the rest of the words would have British spelling. No, so choose one style and stick to this. Alright, so I think that I have said everything that I had here. Now let's move on to the structure. So we have here, I'm writing to express my dissatisfaction with. What is this? So this is, So first we have the title. For example, Dear Mike, Dear Sir, or Madam. So it depends, as I said before, on the type of your letter. So if your letter is informal or maybe semi-formal, you can write down Dear Mike, Dear Alice, Dear Kate, Dear Mom. If you're writing to a company or to a restaurant, for example, if the task of your letter is to complain to the hotel, for example, so you would write down Dear Sir or Madam. But I have good news, because on the exam, in the task, you will read, start your letter as follows. So they will give you a tip how to start it. So that's why if you start with Dear Sir or Madam, of course, it's formal. So then we have opening statement. Opening statement, it's you show the reason for your writing. For example, I'm writing to express my dissatisfaction with your service in a hotel. You also can open your letter if it's informal by giving some information about your recent news. For example, Hi Mike, so you open the letter, or Dear Mike, I'm fine, and how are you doing, or how are you guys doing there? So you can ask a friendly question and you can be casual here. So this is an opening statement. So the next we have body paragraphs, where you develop bullet points with details. So you can put this paragraph, like it can be one paragraph where you open all bullet points, or you can divide, like each bullet point can go to a separate paragraph. So it's up to you. You need to think about it, if these bullet points are very different from each other, or maybe it's okay to put everything in one paragraph. The next, closing statement. Closing statement, I'm looking forward to your reply. It's formal. Can't wait to see you all. It's informal. And finally, we have signing off. It's where you finished your letter. So lots of love. Of course, if it's informal, kind regards, semi-formal, or yours faithfully, it's very formal if you don't know the recipient. So make sure that if you write down Dear Sir or Madam, you need to finish your letter with yours faithfully. This is the rule. And if you don't know who is going to get your letter. Alright, and finally you need to write down your name. You can choose any name, you don't have to write down your own name, but of course if you want you can write down your own name. You can write down only your first name if it's informal letter, and you have to write down your name and your surname if it's the formal one. So this is the structure. We have title, we have opening statement where you write the reason for writing, you have body paragraphs where you describe bullet points of the letter, then you have closing statement, signing off, and the name. So this is the structure that you need to follow. Alright, so now we're going with you to take a look at an example. So for example, you can see such task. You're working for a company. You need to take some time off work and want to ask your manager about this. Write a letter to your manager in your letter, and here we have bullet points. This is what I was talking about. So 3 bullet points usually go there. Explain why you want to take time off work, give details of the amount of time you need, suggest how your work could be covered while you're away. Begin your letter as follows, dear. So here we have these bullet points, yeah, and explain why you want to take time off work, give details of the amount of time you need. So here you actually need to switch on your imagination. You can, I don't say that you need to lie, of course, no, but let's imagine you don't work, so you aren't working currently, yeah, so you can imagine the situation, and here you need to, it's up to you what details you're going to be giving. So think about the time, think about the reasons why you need this. So make sure to write down as much as you can. So here, use your imagination and make things up. It's important. So because you need to write down minimum 170 words, so here where you can get them. All right, so let's take a look at little tasks. So here we have a letter, but this letter is in the sentences of the letter are in the jumbled order. So I give you a minute, and if you are now working with me in this live stream, can you take a moment, read these sentences and put the sentences in the correct order? So organize the letters correctly. If you are watching a replay, just take a minute and think about it. So 1 minute. You can type your answers in the chat box. All right, I can see some answers. Let's actually check everything together right now. So let's take a look. So this is now the letter. Dear Rose, I'm writing to request some unpaid leave next month. My parents' 50th wedding anniversary is on April the 21st, and they are planning to celebrate this significant achievement with all their children and grandchildren. To do this, they have rented a house big enough to accommodate the whole family. To participate in this special occasion, I would need to be away from work for 4 days, from Monday the 19th to Thursday the 23rd. My schedule for that week is relatively light, apart from 2 meetings with clients. Helen would be able to attend these in my place, as she has had previous dealings with both companies and knows the relevant staff there. I have no other urgent work commitments at that time. I would be very grateful if you could allow me this time, because these few days are very important to me and my parents. Looking forward to your reply. Kind regards, Kate Smith. All right, so this is the answer. I hope that you did well, and I'd like you to think about the following thing. So what do you think? This letter, is it formal, informal, or semi-formal? What do you guys think? So this letter that you can see on your screens, this is semi-formal. So we have Dear Rose, we don't have Dear Mrs. Smith, for example, and we have it semi-formal, and we have also kind regards. It's not informal, so it depends on the situation. For example, you could make it formal as well, because the task was to write a letter to your manager, and you can decide for yourself what relationship do you have with your manager. Maybe they are casual, so it depends, or you can make it more formal. So in order to make yeah, Victoria, I see your answer. Exactly, it's semi-formal. So you can make it formal. So instead of Dear Rose, what do you think you can write? So you can write Dear Mrs. Smith or Dear Ms. Smith. By the way, if you know that the woman is married, you write down Mrs. If you are not sure if the woman is married or not married, you write down MS. But it doesn't matter anyways for your IELTS exam, because nobody knows who you are writing to and if this woman is married or not married. So you can put both options, Dear Mrs. MRS or Dear MS Smith. And instead of kind regards, you just would write yours sincerely. You don't write yours faithfully, because you know the name of the person. If you are writing the name of the person, as in our example, don't write down yours faithfully, because yours faithfully you write down to a recipient whose name you don't know. All right, so this is how you can make this letter formal. So here we have an example of either semi-formal or formal letters. Also pay attention to such words as I'm writing to request. So this is where you show the reason for writing. I'm writing to ask you about. I am writing to let you know. I am writing to complain. So I am writing to do something. So also to participate in this special occasion, I would need to, so these are just stable, nice phrases. Also here we have in red from Monday the 19th to Thursday the 23rd. It's important, these are like little details. You don't have any dates, of course, in your mind, but this is something that you can add, and this would add scores to your letter. So make up some period of time. So I would be grateful if you could allow me this time. Nice expression. I would be grateful if you could do something. And looking forward to your reply. Very nice, very stable expression. Fits for semi-formal and formal letters. Looking forward to your reply. Alright guys, so moving on to the next task. So here we have another example. You have recently started work in a new company. Write a letter to an English-speaking friend. In your letter, explain why you changed jobs, describe your new job, tell him or her your other news. Begin your letter as follows, dear. Alright guys, what do you think? This task, for this task, would you need to write a formal, a semi-formal, or an informal letter? What do you think? So because the requirement here is to write down to your English-speaking friend, of course it's informal. Maybe you have friends who you have formal relationship with, I'm not sure, but usually friends, it's informal. And here I have again a task for you. So you can see a letter, but the sentences again are in a jumbled order. So take a minute and look through the sentences and organize them correctly. So do this right now, and you can type your answers in the chat box. If you are watching a replay, just think about it. Alright guys, I hope that you did well, and now let's take a look at the correct answer. So, here is an example. Dear Eve, how are you? I hope you've been well. Sorry for having been out of touch for a while. There's been some changes in my life and I wanted to let you know the latest from my side. The big news is that I've finally changed my job. Do you remember when you were here on holiday? I always talked about how I hated my boring bank job. Well, it was clear I needed a change. So finally, I took a part-time TSL course and trained to be an ESL teacher. Now I'm working full-time in a private language school. Each day, I look forward to going to work. My students come from all over the world and I love teaching them as well as learning from them. Aside from that, I also moved to a new apartment near the school where I work. It's small but downtown, so I'm right in the heart of the city instead of way out in the suburbs. Suddenly, there's so many fun things to do in the evenings too. I'm a much happier person today because of these recent changes. So, how about you? I hope you'll have a chance to visit Canada again soon. In the meantime, please write and let me know what's new with you. Lots of love, Kim. Alright, so you can see that this letter is rather informal. We have here contractions. You've been well. There's been some changes. We have there's instead of there has been. Also we have here I'm right instead of I am. So, and we have also very friendly, very open style. You ask questions. So this is an example how you can write an informal letter. You can remember this lots of love and then just write down your first name. So you don't need to write down your surname, of course. And you can pay attention to some phrases. I hope you've been well. I hope you've been well. Sorry for having been out of touch for a while. There's been some changes in my life. I wanted to let you know the latest from my side. So these are very casual, nice, stable expressions to use in your informal letter. The big news is, aside from that, so how about you? And let me know what's new with you. Alright, so this is an example of an informal letter. So moving on to a table that I wanted to show you today. Just a moment, I will make some changes. Yeah. Alright. So guys, let's analyze again. So we have three possible styles of letters: formal, semi-formal, and informal. So a few examples of purposes of formal letters. So requesting information from a company, applying for a job, complaining to a bank, store, or airline, making a recommendation or suggestion. So you would open the formal letter like dear sir, madam, and you would end the formal letter with yours faithfully. Again, if you don't know the name of the person, because normally formal letters, it's where you don't know who you are writing to. Semi-formal, complaining to a landlord, explaining to a neighbor, asking a professor for permission. So here you would write down dear Mr. Brown, dear Ms. Stone, and you can finish as yours sincerely or best regards. Informal, inviting someone you know well, thanking a friend, apologizing, asking for advice. So you can start with dear John, hi mom, hi Andy. I actually have never met the task that you would need to write to your mom. Actually, usually it's a task to write to a friend. And you finish with warm wishes and lots of love. So this is a quick rundown of everything that we've been talking about today. So just remember stable expressions, how you begin and how you sign off. And don't forget to address all bullet points. Alright guys, and of course I cannot leave you without any task. So this is your homework. Write a letter to the manager of the cafe. In your letter, give details of what went wrong, explain what you had to do to overcome the problem at that time, say what actions you would like the manager to take, and begin your letter as follows: Dear Sir or Madam. So guys, this is your homework. You can type your letter in the comments below the video. Don't forget about all the requirements, about the criteria for evaluation. Make sure that you address all bullet points and use stable expressions in your email, in your letter, sorry. And this is actually really good practice for you guys. Of course, if you want to use our IELTS preparation lessons, you can visit our website losangeles.englishschool.com, and you can check out our IELTS preparation course. And also we have special service. It's you don't need to take the whole course. You can just send us your essays or letters and we will evaluate it. You will have the professional evaluation with recommendations or corrections and band score. So make sure to check it out if you'd like to. All right, so actually that's it with letters for today. I hope that you enjoyed this lesson and it was helpful for you. So don't forget guys to subscribe to this YouTube channel, hit the bell icon if you'd like to get notified of all our upcoming lessons. Visit our website losangeles.englishschool.com. Alright guys, if you have any questions, you can type your answers in the comments below the video and I reply to all your questions. Alright, so I wish you have a great day. Thank you again for being with me and I hope to see you in my next lesson. Bye guys!